this. Blue Sky was started by some of the people that were originally with Twitter, not even as a competitor or replacement to it. It was already in the works before Elon took over. And Blue Sky, the idea of it is to make it a more open source, it remains to be seen if any of this will ever pan out, by the way. But the idea was to create a social media app that actually functions as a public square that doesn't have as much like of a single person or a single entity deciding what it should be or if it should be profitable and all these sorts of things. It was supposed to be this more open source kind of. It seems a little utopia. It's like fantasy sort of unrealistic kind of thing. But that was the goal, and you know what? It's a noble goal, and why not try to build an actual public square, town square kind of thing that isn't as ruled by a single corporate entity and that isn't about driving profits of the algorithm. Maybe there should be something that's a little more publicly run, and that's the goal with it. The idea is to have your own algorithm. I don't know if that makes sense to people, but like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, there's one main algorithm, and it consistently shows you things that you don't want. And if you go on Blue Sky, you can subscribe to different algorithms. And so one is like,
oh, really?
Yes. Now they've just started rolling it out. I mean, the thing about it is this thing is still being built, but yes, you can subscribe to like a specific cat algorithm. And so it's a feed of just the cat accounts, or you can subscribe to what's hot. That's the trending. That's like the actual main popular feed.
Okay.
You can subscribe to an algorithm that's specifically only people you follow. What a novel concept. Only see content from the stuff you signed up to see.
Yeah.
That used to be what it was, and now every algorithm is dominated by sponsored, forced content. Well, on Blue Sky, at least one of the algorithms you can subscribe to is only from people I follow. And the company makes their own for you to use. Also, users have the ability to design their own. So the community has a hand in designing their own algorithms as well. And so I saw some community created ones like, hide the stuff of like re-shares, like reposts or whatever, only show me original posts, or like filter out replies, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the beauty of Blue Sky. I think it's why it has a lot of promise, is it's giving the community, at least in its early days, more power and more of a say in what it actually is and the content people want to see. And I think for that reason alone, Blue Sky has a lot of promise. Now, the question people are going to ask is, wow, Trev, that sounds really cool. How the hell can I get on this damn thing? Because I've heard people talk about it, or maybe you haven't. What is it? Where is it? How can I? Unfortunately, it's still being built, which, you know what, credit to them. I think they're trying to do it right. They're trying to make sure this thing actually functions well and is as safe as it can be. They've received some criticism because some people have gotten in that are decidedly not safe or helpful to the community, but I really think they're trying their best, at least, and I cut them some slack, and it's taking them a while, but I think for good reason. So unfortunately, the only way to get on Blue Sky right now is through an invite. Somebody who's already on there has to send you an invite code, and you're like, well, how is that ever going to happen? I'll tell you what, I sent out a desperate plea to people. This is even before Twitter truly took a dive, and I was like, I need, for my mental health, I'm going to my doctor, I'm getting a medical note that says I need an invite to Blue Sky, and I'm going to mail it to corporate headquarters over there, whatever their headquarters are. And a friend of mine that I've known for years, but I never in a million years would have expected to have a Blue Sky invite code. I guess he runs some like popular regional soccer social media account.
Oh, really?
And they had enough of a presence that somebody from Blue Sky or whatever sent out an invite, and so-and-so knew so-and-so, and it just trickles down like that. And so I got an invite code from a friend that I had no idea would have had an invite code. And so my suggestion to all of you out there, one, grovel, beg, particularly for me and Meg, because we're both on it. So we get invite codes every 2 weeks or something. It's ridiculous.
Everyone's going to be messaging us.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, we'll deem you worthy. We'll deem you worthy, we'll deem you unworthy, but I think it's real strict. It's like one code every 2 weeks. So like twice a month we're allowed to invite one person. So, shoot your shot. I mean, that's clearly the advice I'm
Shoot
giving
your
you.
shot,
Grovel, beg. The more you beg, the more grovelly
your
and pathetic
cheeks.
it is,
No.
the more I enjoy it. I'm a sadistic in that way. And so that's how you can get through to me. Now, Meg might have a different style, but I'm just telling you, my number one advice, if you want to get on Blue Sky, just keep begging. The more desperate, the better. Worked for me.
No, I did something super similar. I posted on Twitter, like, I think I scheduled out tweets to go out like every couple hours, basically just begging. And within the first day, somebody like responded, total stranger. They follow me on Blue Sky. I follow them, forgetting their name, but you know, they messaged me and basically was like, here's a code. And I was kind of like, I hope I'm not getting scammed because I didn't know what I was kind of getting myself into at that point.
Right.
But yeah, it worked. And like the person was basically saying like, you know, you just seem like a cool person. So here's the code, you know, make sure that whoever you invite is also a really good person, you know, just to build this community out and everything like that. So I was like, wicked, awesome. Let's go. And so it works, you know, if you really want to get into the community and like you're a decent person online, then you're probably going to go and get an invite code. But yeah, so same story essentially.
Yeah. And so that's the only way to get on there now. Again, eventually, that's not the way it's designed forever. It's just in the early days while they build it out. I think it's a clever idea. I wish they would give us some more invite codes. I wish we could bring in more people. But listen, trust the process. It's, to my mind, it's the only thing right now that even comes close to potentially being there. And by the way, now that Elon's torching the Twitter brand, can he just give it to them? Like, can we just, the folks, like, let's just call it for what it is. This is the new and improved Twitter. We can all finally seek refuge, flee X, the miserable X app, and just call it Twitter. Just give him Elon, you don't want the brand. You clearly, you don't want Twitter. Give it back to the Blue Sky team. Let's call it Twitter. Let's create the new Twitter and just, and we could all be happy.